stretch.
You stretch, I'll watch.
Ha
Hey, I can do it myself.
But you needed help getting into bed last night, and then you had that bad dream, and
I said I can do it myself.
Okay.
You're getting to be an enabler. There. Are you satisfied?
Please, let's just do some stretches.
Oh.
That's it. Hold it for 10 counts. 1, 2, 3,
Hurry up.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Okay,
10.
Yeah. Hey, that was better than yesterday, wasn't I?
Yes, I guess.
Is that a yes or a no?
I think
Just don't lie to
I'm
me.
not lying. I don't know. Okay, it was better.
You sure?
I'm not sure, but I think
Forget it. Say, don't you have to go to work?
I can come in a little late this morning. Need the bathroom?
Not that I know of.
Ha! Can't resist trying to get me to laugh, can you?
Well, you know my favorite cliche.
A laugh a day keeps the shadows away.
Anyway, my new laugh project is Josh. When we meet at the gym lately, he's beginning to worry me, so I've been trying to use some of that old material from my dancing on a string routine and throw in some new jokes I've been thinking of recently. But Josh seems to find too many things to worry about for me to catch up, so...
I'm just glad you kept your act as a hobby. You were thinking of quitting your job to do it full time before your pension kicked in, remember?
I didn't, okay? You were always my most demanding joke critic.
And I was always in demand, wasn't I?
Man, you're cute too, yeah. Anyway, the best I can get out of Josh these days is a nervous grin, and I can't tell if the grin's real or he's trying to put on a front.
You can practice on me anytime. You know I'm good at funny.
It's not that I haven't thought about it. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, with your volunteering at the library and the homeless shelter, it's not as if you have nothing else to do.
Except get a little tired of being mistaken for one of the needy. But trying out the act is not such a crazy idea. And if I can get people to laugh the way I used to, it would give me a lift too.
Do you think you can get in touch with your old agent?
Yeah, it's worth a try. He told me when I stopped doing my routine that if I changed my mind, there was still an audience around. Want to go with some of my one-liners from the PD joke book?
You still think I can remember them?
So, what is a PD's favorite appetizer?
A tossed salad. You told me that one yesterday, don't you remember?
You know that a memory for me.
It's a thing of the past.
What is a PD's favorite breakfast food?
Shredded wheat.
Here's a non-PDer. You ready? Why is Egypt the favorite getaway spot for crooked politicians?
I don't know. Why?
Because they can always go into denial.
Well, you still have the delivery.
Yeah. When I had an act. I remember my opening. I used to be a stand-up comic, but Parkinson's got me a sit-down.
Still a little rusty. Practice.
All right.
Okay, I've got to go now. There's a sandwich in the fridge.
I'll call you when I'm done at the gym, okay?
Text, if you can. I'll be at meetings most of the day.
You know how hard it is for me to text. The last one I sent you said,
Somehow I was able to figure it out. See you this evening, and don't forget to call your agent. It's worth a follow-up.
Love you.
Love you too.
Hi, fellow PDers, family, friends, and enablers. I'm back with my show.
Hey!
Anybody remember how my routine started? Because I don't. One of the advantages of PD is that I can tell the same joke twice and you get the same laughs. So here's my routine. I promise I won't repeat myself. What is a PD's favorite swim stroke? The butterfly. Oh, so here's one from my routine. I promise I won't repeat myself. So, what did the PD lawyer tell his client who came to notarize the contract? Sign on the blotted line. So I went to my neurologist just to try my new PD jokes. I hope to branch out if I run out of PDs. If you're playing tennis doubles with a PD, what do you have to watch out for? When he hits the ball. What is the cause of false pains in the legs? Ligaments of the imagination. What condition occurs when a therapist overdoes a massage treatment? Stroke victim. What best describes the anger of a patient who gets bad news from a therapist? Shooting the massager. Everybody has a routine, especially PDers. Getting yourself out of bed is a routine. Getting dressed, washing, buying groceries, doing housework. What makes people need routines? Because there is a reward of getting it over with and feeling you've accomplished something. But how do you feel rewarded when you're never sure you've accomplished something important? Because for us PDers, anything is considered an accomplishment. It's not easy if you never know if it makes any difference to anyone else. That's a matter of faith, mostly in yourself. Like opening your eyes in blindness, expecting to finally see something. So, I went to my neurologist.
Now, let's see you walk. Try walking as normally as possible. Well, I can see you're making progress. Now, touch your nose with your finger. Oh, that's it. Yeah, just keep up with this routine, and you will be...
Be what, better cured? The same?
Oh, remember, no guarantees. We can't deal with guarantees.
Yeah, live every day to the fullest.
That's right. And now,
Only
these forms.
one thing, doctor.
What?
Sometimes trying to live life to the full can make you feel pretty empty.
Yes, Mom? He just went to the store. It's about 4 blocks. You want me to what? Call him? He's been gone 5 minutes. Now don't start that family curse routine. I mean, no, I don't know what's going to happen next. Here he is. My mom.
Yes, I'm fine. No, I can't imagine what she'd do without me or with me. Yes, I'm not tired from a 10-minute walk. Of course, I'm feeling better. Just talking to you makes me feel special. Yes. All right. I love you too. So, how was your day, honey bun?
A little rough. One of the residents passed away last night. She was my favorite, sort of sweet old lady named Hilda Nussbaum.
How old was she?
96. Not demented either.
Hope for me yet.
I was told her son came. I hadn't seen her in 25 years. She saw him, smiled, said, I guess I can go now. And she did. Seems you can say better late than never.
I am a now person. Remember, there is no early or late.
Well, what did the doctor say?
Well, I'm just fine. I'm beginning to wonder if he's aware which patient I am. You know, I'm convinced that they really think of numbers when they see us. You must be Mr. 8.5. And my next client is an imperfect 10.
Ha-has!
What causes neurotic doctors to retire early?
When they run out of patience.
Yeah.
You're getting to repeat yourself, sweetie.
Which reminds me, as you suggested, I called my old agent from when I was doing stand-up. It was a last-minute cancellation, so he asked me to do a gig tomorrow night if I think I can handle it on a short notice. A warm-up for a comedy act by a paraplegic. It's called Give Me a Hand.
Where is it? In the village?
Nah, I should be so lucky. It's a dive on a side street near the slope. A good venue for my kind of crowd.
I'm coming with you. We'll take the car. I had to think of you walking down those subway steps.
Okay, I'll drive there.
Night driving? You know you have trouble seeing in...
I'll be fine, and you'll be fine with one of those crash helmets.
Even having trouble driving in daytime.
I'll drive so slow you won't even know the car's moving.
You know, you can be serious once in a while.
Keeps me in practice. Life is too serious to take too seriously.
But this...
I said I'm driving the car. I can steer a goddamn car without running into a traffic light.
Okay, kill us both to make a point. I didn't mean...
All right. Splurge on the cab, okay?
I just don't want...
But we both want miracles, don't we?
Every time I see you is my miracle.
Why are you so patient with me? Are you so goddamn understanding? Why do you care about me?
That evening, when you came from the doctor's office and she told you she had good news and bad news.
The good news was that my MRI was negative, that I didn't have a brain tumor. Then the other news. I just have Parkinson's.
And I knew then that I was so lucky I wasn't going to lose you.
You still think you're lucky?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes!
So, I told my therapist that if I took him 6 months, and it took him 6 months to figure out that I was unbalanced, it was time for us to shake on it and say goodbye.
How was Josh this morning, Pat?
Stubborn, as usual. He insisted in getting his sweater on himself.
Well, it makes them feel better, whatever it is they can do for themselves, no matter if they make a mess of it. That's the way Brian was, only I had to clean up the mess. So what happened with Josh?
He almost got strangled. I had to ruin a perfectly good sweater to get him out of it in one piece.
Sometimes you have to wonder, is it all worth it?
I try not to think about it, okay?
Sorry I'm late, guys. Traffic.
No sympathy, I walk.
Never hurts to have a sense of humor.
Only when we laugh.
So, what's on your minds today?
Not much, since we're out of them most of the time.
But we can always get a laugh out of it.
It's good to laugh.
Sometimes I can't help laughing.
What's this about laughing? I've got plenty to spare.
What do you call an old sailor with a robotic arm?
Assault with battery. You told me that one last week, remember?
But here's a really new one. Why couldn't Jeremiah or Moses do any charity work?
Okay, why not?
Because they tried to volunteer for not-for-profits. What is a PD's favorite daytime activity? A nap.
So, anything unusual happened since our last session?
Hal's been having strange dreams.
What about?
You really want to know?
Well, that's part of my job.
Which part?
I had a dream last night.
I know. I kept on asking you if you were asleep, which is always a ridiculous question. Are you feeling all right? Maybe we should see the doctor.
Not now. I'm okay.
But
I'm okay.
I'm still waiting for you to tell me what's not okay. What did you dream about?
Not the one about waking up with no legs.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
Are you being sarcastic?
Nope. Ironic.
It's hard to describe. I was about to do my old new stand-up routine and the audience was looking very strange. When I tried to talk, I had no mouth.
Shh. Hey, easy. Take it one. Just relax.
Just wish that one day I could dream about sex.
Ready, willing, and able. Always. Oops.
You know how much I want to feel that way again?
When it happens, it happens. I can wait.
Well, it seems to me you're handling things very well, Paula. And I'd suggest that you read the latest issue of our bulletin. There are a few medical trials on the horizon.
Right. But Josh's doctor told him that the best exercise, or that the best therapy he could have is exercise.
Does bitching count as exercise?
Anyway, cannabis is soon going to be the new drug of choice. Just think, we could pretend it's the 60s again.
A personal note. There are good days and bad days and days that seem to no end just when your body is getting used to changes that we don't realize until they become obvious to other people. We'll have those as we age, of course. But can we try to think we can stop the changes and stay in whatever now we're in? And for that hope, there's always exercises. Lift, push, hold, squeeze, stretch, crouch, hold, lift,
hold,
stretch, squeeze, push, reach, glide, grasp, press, glide, reach, press, reach, press, reach.
That therapist is brutal.
Well, don't worry about it. It's good for him.
I thought it was supposed to be good for us.
Next time, just look at the smile on his face and then in a mirror. Who's happier, you or him? Anyway, even if it's a real schlep, it feels good for us when we stop.
You just can't resist with the jokes, can you?
Yeah, laughter is important in getting the serotonin flowing. Look it up. Here's a couple. A couple more to make you feel better than exercise.
Oh, no.
Why would a PD make a good politician? He loves to shake hands. A PD's favorite pop song. Good vibrations.
Enough already. I'm just happy that the kids are out of the house. Whenever they visit, I see on their faces that they'd rather be anywhere else than with me. I guess I don't act normal enough for them.
Come on, Josh. What do you expect? It's not your fault. Just stop worrying. Just stop worrying about worrying.
If they'd only give me the time to do what I can do. The harder I try, the slower I get.
Anyway, don't let it bug you. Your kids are just kids.
You know, the more I think about it, Pat is getting on my nerves. She keeps helping me to put on my sweaters.
Don't forget that it might do her some good to feel she's helping you.
That's true. I probably sound like a selfish bastard. I can't seem to think of anybody but myself.
That's only normal, so don't beat yourself over it.
But recently, I'm never sure anymore when I wake up if I can get out of bed. When I have to pee and not have a damn accident.
Has this been a problem for you recently?
You don't want to know.
Come on, tell me about it. That's what Presky friends are for. Something that might explain the gloomy way you've been acting lately. You can tell Dr. Freud anything you want, and you will get my bill in the morning. Hey, how's Pat doing?
She's adjusting. We can handle things at home.
I'm so glad we decided to meet at our homes for a change. It's not comforting to sit in a room that looks like a lab.
I think the reason we haven't done it before is we didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Huh? Feelings? Every once in a while I look at the back of his head just out of curiosity.
To see if he's getting bald?
No, to see if he comes with batteries. So, how is Josh doing?
Not easy when you have to pretend that you don't notice the pee stains and try not to see the accidents.
Why don't you tell him you know about it?
And make him more self-conscious than he already is?
Well, what about you?
What do you mean, what about me?
I think it's time for someone to help out. I finally gave into it, though I know Brian hated a daycare routine, but I had to be honest with myself. If Josh doesn't want to help you, there's not going to be much of you to help him. You have to tell him. You know he's got a lot of problems, and not wait until he can't prove himself anymore that you don't know.
He's so damn sensitive these days about almost any move he used to be able to do without thinking. And now he thinks he has to plan almost every move. Must have been tough for you.
I haven't told you much at group what happened a couple of days before Brian died. I didn't want to worry you with what might happen to your guys.
Paula and I figured you'd tell us when you trusted us enough.
Well, it was with your help, Pat. He was getting so irrational and uncontrolled, I was afraid to leave him with an aide. He might have gotten violent, and there it was, the incontinence. I'll spare you more of the details. All I can really tell you is I kept wondering how much longer this go on without me losing it. You can only imagine how much it would have eventually cost if I were able to send him to a nursing home, and I couldn't help wondering what I could do to make my life different.
I guess most of us think that once in a while.
I hope you don't think you have to sacrifice your life just...
I'm not sacrificing anything, Marcia. Don't use that word. Besides, right now I'm worried about what's gonna happen if he wakes up one day and realizes that there's nothing for him to do anymore.
There's another problem, isn't there?
You can imagine from your own job how much time I spend bending over the computer in the office. I'm practically dying to pee by the time I get to my coffee break.
Talk to your supervisor, he might try to make things easier.
Are you kidding? He's just looking for an excuse to get rid of me because I'm getting slow.
Yeah, but that's how I got my early retirement deal.
I don't think he's noticed yet. I wear one of those diaper things.
Maybe you should have a visit with Dr. Feelfine.
I can't deal with this. I can deal with this.
You can tell me anything unless you don't trust me. Josh? Have you kept this from Pat? You said she was adjusting.
Okay. I'm getting up very early to cover myself before she's out of bed. But she probably knows.
So why not talk to her?
She's got enough on her mind. Anyway, I was hoping that if I didn't mention it, it would stop bothering me and go away on its own.
So, you believe in the tooth fairy? Just pretend it's not there, poof, magic?
But it's not her I'm really worried about. It's the job. I thought about it and I realized that's all I really know. When I walk near somebody in the office, I try to see if he suspects. It's not easy for me not to look scared.
You've got to get a handle on this, Josh. Maybe you need to change your medication.
You mean a bigger dose? That's the way to the end.
Or maybe another beginning.
Don't give me that Dr. Feelfine crap. All I'm sure about right now is keeping that damn tech job. It's just about the only thing that makes me want to get up in the morning.
But just in case, Do you have a plan B? That is just in case.
Hell, you've known me a long time. And you know we don't discuss this. Particularly since you ought to realize that by now there is no plan B anymore. Keeping my job is the last plan B I've got. Do you understand that?
Okay. Sorry I mentioned it. On the ride home, Paula didn't leave the car today.
I didn't know you'd be here. I arranged to pick up.
You can cancel.
I don't want to piss them off, if you'll pardon the expression. They might drop me from their list.
How'd you be able to tell the difference?
That's supposed to be another joke?
Maybe.
He's late again.
I think we'd better let him know what's bugging us. Especially Paula. Anyway, I don't like the way she looks right now.
Caregiver exhaustion. If anything, she told me, Hal's dreams are getting worse.
Josh had a butte last night. I think he's worried sick that he might be losing his job. Thank goodness with his pension we can afford it if it happens.
What was the dream about?
What is it? Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Where? Who?
It's me, wake up!
I thought I was dreaming about getting stuck in the elevator at 34th Street and a crowd of people kept telling me to move. And I couldn't move!
Relax. You can move.
I can't!
Yes, you can. I'll make it happen. I think you'll have to get a stronger dose.
I don't need a stronger dose. I'm fine the way I am.
Why don't you ever take my advice?
You mean about the medicine?
I mean about anything having to do with it.
I still want to believe that if I ignore it, it'll go away.
If you want to believe it, I can too.
Please, don't give me hope. That's the one thing I don't need.
What do you need?
To keep a job.
We'll find you something else if we need to.
What does that mean? Something else. What is something else?
Hi, folks. Just want to let you know that I'm probation, so I'm going to have to be very careful whom I offend. So I'm going to play it very safe and mix in a couple PCers. So what's the most popular health coverage policy for ISIS recruits? Afterlife insurance, money-back guarantee if not completely satisfied. What mental condition is diagnosed as fear of gays in wide open spaces? Oklahomophobia. Here's one that won't offend anyone, I hope. How can you tell if you're wearing an outsourced parachute? It opens on contact. Why did the circus owner fire the tightrope walker? Because she was unbalanced. That one's from my pal Josh. He's becoming unbalanced because he's afraid he'll lose his job, and he might lose his job because he's getting unbalanced. But I'm going to see him through it. Just remember, we've all got a one-way ticket, so enjoy the ride. Oh, which reminds me. So how many of you have used the special service for folks who can't negotiate the 39 steps down to the subway? I can't use its real name, but it rhymes with obsess-a-ride. You have a doctor's appointment at 4 p.m., so you ask them to pick you up at 2, since they'll figure on picking you up at 3, since the ride takes 15 minutes. Hello? Hello? My name is Hal Newman, and I requested...
Our radio has changed, so please review the following options.
I've been waiting for 35 minutes, and my wife tried
For
to...
pickup times, press 1. For drop-off times, press 2. For unexpected delays, press 3. For mandatory delays of more than half an hour, press forward.
Can I please speak
Your
to...
call is very important to us.
Your call is...
Our menu is changing again. I will connect you with our dispatcher, who will be with you shortly. Shortly.
Lift, push, hold, squeeze, stretch, crouch, reach, press, reach, press, reach, reach, reach.
I don't feel any better now. Do you think I should give it up?
Give up what?
Everything.
If you're thinking what I'm thinking, don't think it.
But I can't stop thinking about it. About when I'll be among the ever-smiling wheelchair brigade being pushed around like some life-size doll.
At least it's not getting worse for now, is it?
Not yet.
So let's just stick with the now.
Well, the now is what I can't stick with anymore. I just got fired.
When?
Just before I got here. It took just 15 minutes conversation to blot out 25 years of service. When I got back to my office, the damn security guards marched in and took away the computer and any paper files I had as if I were a criminal.
Why did this happen now?
Okay. I had an accident. I miscalculated when I needed to go to the bathroom and, with my dumb luck, walked right into the boss.
I think there are laws about this.
Laws that protect me from being slow, not catching on to new apps. Anyway, the simple reason he gave me when he met me in the office was that I wasn't needed anymore. And he's right.
Stop that! You just made a dumb excuse to cut back on the payroll so the company can get more squeezed out of the rest of you. Anyway, at least you know you can count on me no matter what.
Thanks for saying that. Even if there's nothing you can do.
Being there for you isn't nothing, and if you start feeling like that, I want you to call me. You get it? You get me?
But right now I don't feel there's anything for me.
Your wife, kids, grandchildren, that's a lot of anything.
But that's not me. I want to live for myself for a change. I know that's selfish, but
Look, I don't know what to tell you now, but just take it easy for a while. Call me when you've had a chance to think it over. Right now, you're in a state of shock. Now just go home, take 2 aspirin, and get some sleep. You'll get my bill next week.
yes, Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
Aspirin and a long sleep.
Hello? It's Pat.
What time is it? Hello? Pat? Do you realize... What? Okay. Okay, just calm down. We'll be over as soon as you can. We can't distract... Did you call 911? See if you can talk to a doctor. Get dressed. We've got to get over to their house right away. It's Josh.
What's wrong?
She can't wake him up. Hi, folks. Hope you've had some good vibes this week. Mine weren't so hot. I lost a friend. Waiting for the punchline? There is no punchline. He was here a few days ago and then he disappeared. Okay, now some choice selections from the PD joke book. What religion do PDs feel most comfortable with? Quakers. What's a PD's favorite dance? The jitterbug. What's a PD's favorite daytime activity? A nap. What's a PD's favorite breakfast food? Shredded wheat. Oh, here's a good one. Who's a PD's favorite artist? Jackson Pollock. Did any of you get that one? I thought not. Okay, anybody here on Medicare? Whoa, hey, I've got a following. Hey, or is that a leaving? Hey, did you need to go to the bathroom, buddy, or are you just recharging your hearing aid? Guess you went to the wrong place. We've got a policy in this joint. No one admitted whose IQ is higher than their age. Now don't all of you start moving to the exit at once. Okay. Funny. Yeah. You want more funny? How about a very long Russian novel that is a favorite with insomniacs? Snore in peace. Well, you didn't get that one either? Well, that's too bad. Read a book!
Hey, Hal. Hal. Really, I don't understand you. You know? We got rid of the featured act and gave it to you. And now you do this?
Well, maybe I just got tired of getting people to laugh when what they really need to do is cry.
Oh, people don't pay good money to hear things that make them cry, Hal.
Sure they do, as long as they can share it on Facebook.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, I had to find somebody to fill in your slot, so I'm bringing back Give Me a Hand. Hope there are no hard feelings.
I'm a soft feelings guy. I can't afford the hard feelings. They hurt too much.
Yeah, you just can't resist with the jokes, huh?
Glad you reminded me. Hey, ask me the question. What's the sign of an ex-comedian?
All right, what's the sign?
Timing!
Yeah.
I guess after all these years you can tell a comic's washed up when he repeats the same joke.
Yeah, I don't think I'd worry about you, Hal.
Okay, one more. Ask me the question. What's the sign of an ex-comedian?
All right, what's the sign?
Gotcha.
Thanks for coming to the service, Marcia. I know it's not your thing. I feel better now that you're here, just the two of us. House feels more comfortable than that funeral home rental space. Sometimes I didn't feel as if anyone who spoke about him really knew Josh. Or the Josh he'd become.
Wish I could do more. You've always been there for me since Brian died.
At least your husband didn't suffer the worst symptoms. Maybe that's what they were afraid of.
I think he was more afraid of being useless.
Josh wasn't useless. If only he'd been able to hold on to that job. The night before he died, I suggested that maybe he could keep the job if he offered to go half-time. He got so angry, I thought maybe what...
If you're thinking what I think you're thinking, stop thinking it.
I can't help wondering if it was the way I said it. As if he'd become half of his real self. But I wonder how much of his real self was still real. I'd look at him when he was asleep, and suddenly he seemed a stranger.
People our age are being let go all over the country. He was just singled out. By the way, is Hal still doing his stand-up sketch?
Paula told me last time he did it, it was just after Josh died. I think he crossed the line with his routine. He insulted the audience.
I was just taking a nap before you went to bed. Are you all right?
Frozen!
I'm here.
Frozen!
Try to get up.
Can't!
Yes, you can. I'll do it with you.
I can do it myself now.
You sure?
I said I can do it myself.
I'm not letting you go until you're safe in bed.
Leave me alone.
But I can...
I don't need your help. See?
Sweetheart, I think you should go to see the doctor. You might need a change in your dosage.
I'm not going to see the doctor, and my dosage is just fine.
How?
Fine!
You're not fine.
See? Just leave me alone.
I said I'm not leaving you until you get back in bed. Do you need the bathroom?
I think I'm having an accident.
That's all right, dear. I'll clean it up in a jiffy.
You think that what I've got is a jiffy?
I'll take care of everything.
Everything I can take care of.
But just put your
I said leave me alone! I didn't mean...
I think you did.
Paula, please forgive me.
Ah! Of course. I always do, don't I?
I'll see the doctor soon. I'm sure it's just temporary.
Yes,
Just a temporary.
temporary.
Why do you stay with me?
I don't know anymore. I mean, of course I'll stay with you. Always.
How long is always?
As long as you need it to be always.
How long do I need it before it becomes something else?
Please, stop worrying about something that's going to happen if we're not even sure what that is.
You're still mad at me, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Not because you hit me. I know that was not what you meant.
Of course, you know. I've never touched you in anger, have I?
What hurts me much more is your stubborn refusal to get help when you need it.
But I have to believe that the more I try to do for myself, the less I'll have to depend on others.
You can try to make things easier on me. And that means helping me find out if you need new medicine, even if you're scared of knowing if you do, because how? I can be scared too.
I guess you can hide it better than I can.
Or maybe you don't want to notice when I can't pretend that I'm not as frightened as I feel.
I guess you're right, but... sometimes I feel so helpless.
So do I. You keep asking me why I stay with you. The truth is, I don't know why. Maybe because I'd feel guilty leaving you alone and knowing how we've been so much part of each other's lives. But it's really a spark of light that lets me know that you still have the fight in you to move forward instead of waiting for a miracle and getting depressed when it doesn't come. That spark I see in you is what keeps me going.
Guess it's my jokes, huh?
I'd call it love that discovers friendship.
Friends?
Friends.
Well, he's late again.
I think his car's broke down and he's using Obsessaride.
Please, spare me another how to.
You know, it's funny, I was getting so used to Josh's craziness that I'm beginning to wonder how much I really miss him now.
However you feel you're entitled to feel, to tell me what it is before Dr. Feelgood gets here. I don't trust him.
I got up this morning and wondered if we were still having our support group meeting. And I looked next to me in that empty bed, And I thought,
How did I hold on for so long? And why?
I've thought about it, but you didn't have to say it for me, Marcia.
Even if it's true. I know this may not be the time to tell you the truth, but I feel that the sooner you think about it, the better. Look, Pat, I lost Brian a year ago, and don't tell me if I don't enjoy having a life of my own after all those years when I never allowed myself to do anything for me unless he was connected. And sometimes even a real connection wasn't that often.
You mean sex?
Yes! What about it?
I don't want to think about that right now.
Well, that's an important part of the picture, isn't it? If you want to talk about the truth.
I guess I'm not ready for the truth, Marcia.
The sooner the better, or you won't be able to deal with it at all. Believe me, I know. Well, here's the I feel your pain.
Yeah, well,
Doctor.
sorry I'm late.
Not as sorry as we are that you're not later.
Marcia, this isn't the time for that.
Hi guys, sorry, what are you staring at? Oh, that.
That son of a bitch of a husband hit
It
you?
was an accident.
That looks like some
He
accident.
never intended to.
What didn't he intend? Or did he think it was a better form of
It
communication?
was just a moment when he lost it.
But you can't. You're making excuses like I used to do with Brian.
Will you just cut it out, Marcia? This is supposed to be grief therapy, not an indictment.
But I think that the sooner that you...
Will you just shut up?
I really think this isn't the time.
I'm just trying to give you some advice, Pat. So maybe, just maybe, you can avoid that I'm nobody if I don't take care of him for the rest of my life feeling. You notice any changes in your outlook about the future now that Josh is gone?
I don't want to think about that right now.
Now's the best time. So you don't have to make excuses for that feeling.
And what's that?
You're free! You can live again.
I don't think you should talk like that, Marcia.
How should we talk, Dr. Feelgood? How the hell do you know what I feel, or Pat, or Paula? You prescribe these pills, and when we're here, you give this half-baked advice like you still remember from medical school.
Now, Marcia, I think you're being a little unfair.
Whoa! Who's fair? Hal, who hit you when he needs you to be strong? Anyway, you look exhausted. What do you think she should do about it, Doctor?
Well, I know that the best thing for her is being around friends and family.
What friends? What family? This is my family. Once Brian got the diagnosis and everybody we were friends with knew, they began to feel too busy to find the time to go out with us or visit with us. And when they finally discovered that PD isn't contagious, they thought they'd had enough of being good Samaritans.
You know you can count on us.
And you can count on Dr. Feelgood to read up on his notes so he can be sure what he's supposed to be doing.
Now, that's just about enough, Marcia. You don't think I have feelings, too?
I didn't think you were supposed to have any feelings. Or do you take Feelings 101 in medical school?
If you want to switch to another support group...
We're just fine with you the way you are. Of course, you can always switch to another hour, maybe, to getting yourself on time for once.
Do you know why I'm always late? Because I can't find a goddamn parking space! They assigned me one, and then they misplaced the forms, and by the time I found it, I found out the parking place was taken.
Well, you might have figured out something else.
Please stop it. You're getting me stressed. And you're not making it any easier for him, Marcia.
Sorry. I didn't really mean to blow up at you. I just don't want to see Pat suffer the way I suffered in blaming myself.
Look, I know that I shouldn't be telling you this, but I do have feelings. Feelings that I can't erase just by pressing a delete button. And the toughest part is to give you hope, because until some miracle drug comes along, it's not really hope that I can give. It's It's the willingness to go on no matter what. A lot of my patients just give up
Why? Why do they give up?
because they don't want to face what's going to happen to them. It's not the American way. We say, passed on, or they're off to a better place. Or on this one, I really don't understand when they say they know their loved ones are looking down at them, when looking up would be more rational.
You don't have to get so morbid, Doc. Just believe in miracles.
Yeah, when I was in med school, one of the old timers told me the secret. The secret of the American way to sustainable health care for the elderly. Don't get sick, and if you do, die quick.
Hey, I'm the one who came here today, so I'm supposed to feel better.
I'm sorry. I'm beginning to wonder what we're doing here.
I do too. And please everybody, don't start telling me about how the caregivers go before the ones they love. It has to be more than love to explain it.
You do look like hell, Paula. Is there something we can do for you?
I was thinking coming over, the three of us, in a real support group where we live. We tried it once and it seemed to work, remember? And then we thought we might be doing something wrong if we didn't see a shrink. But instead of going into a strange neighborhood in a big building with little offices, we might feel more relaxed if we just visited each other once a week. Anyway, that'll be a lot cheaper.
Maybe we can work that out. Let's go.
Best idea we've had in months. Come on, gals.
Goodbye, Dr. Feelfine.
Better luck with that parking space.
Thanks for trying.
Hey, I'm logging this as a full session.
Welcome to the not so bitter end. I'm trying some new stuff since I got canned from my last gig for not funny enough. Just so you know, life can be pretty scary if you think about it enough.
Yes. And truth most always looks beautiful, no matter what scars are underneath. Because we live in an invented world where there is no aging, there is no illness, and there is no death.
No death.
And when the bills started coming faster than I could open the mail, we weren't on Medicare yet. I realized for the chronically ill, it's really too expensive to stay alive after you've seen what cruel things our bodies can do when they get diseased. It's as if there was some plan that had been set up before humans came to live on this planet, and we didn't know what to do with it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was chronic illness. A biological mistake.
A mistake.
When Brian got the diagnosis, I thought, well, it's sometimes very slow. We still have some good years ahead, and I promised I would never put him in a nursing home because I couldn't imagine anything that could be worse.
Couldn't be worse.
But just a few days ago, when I saw Paula with that bruise on her face, I remembered what I had gone through with Brian, especially in his last years. You don't get run down that fast, but if you become the only one he could depend on, the routine begins to break you apart. And sometimes, when I get up at 4 in the morning with his screaming, I'd look at him, and it seemed that I didn't recognize him anymore. That some sinister, helpless creature had replaced my husband, and it was drawing all that life I had left in me, sucking it out until I didn't know what I could do. And he saw it, and said nothing to let me know how much I must still care for him.
Still care for him.
But one day when I woke up and heard him sobbing, I felt something snap in me after I smelled the accident. And as I cleaned him up, I suddenly burst into tears, and then I heard his voice, as if it was coming from a deep cave. let me go. And I turned to him, my hands smelling of his shit. And I knew what he meant, and I smiled. And he did too.
He
did too.
I knew what all the medications were and what they could do. So after I cleaned him up and he really smelled good now, I knew I could finally give him peace. But to tell the truth, I no longer cared if he had peace. Like I knew I would. I decided I would give him an overdose and pass it off as an accident. I measured the amount very carefully and was about to administer the injection when he suddenly looked up, and he looked so sad. I was so astonished that I dropped the hypodermic on the floor, and when I picked it up, I knew the moment had been lost and that I wouldn't be able to go through with it.
Go through with it.
A few minutes later, I began to realize that I might feel remorse that would haunt me, possibly for the rest of my life, if I killed him. I heard a loud groan in the bedroom, as if all his sufferings could be purged with that sad, awful cry. I rushed in and immediately knew he was dead. The look on his face I will remember the rest of my life. A twisted smile of gratitude that his suffering would finally be over, and that way he could give me back the gift of my life.
Gift of life.
After the inquest, after the funeral was over, I heard nothing of accusation from our friends and relatives, those that were still in touch enough to give a damn. And though there are times when I miss him, I never for a moment felt guilt about what I had planned to do.
No guilt.
Some story. I think I can finally figure out Marcia.
It's not that easy to deal with the truth.
There's a lot of things I want to do before I get that bad, and maybe I'll get some done.
Like getting people to laugh.
Hey, remember when we first met and took those dancing lessons?
And I realized what it meant to dance with someone who has two left feet.
At least in those days they were going in the right direction. I got you to laugh.
I had a dream last night.
Yeah?
We were dancing on the edge of a beachfront, and the ocean's tongue was lifting us up and around.
What kind of dance?
A waltz, like the first time we met. And then we saw a seagull showing us how to fly.
How to soar above the black blue waves.
And it let us down so gently. I on the shore, you in the water, and how you swam back to me. How beautiful to swim to a shore where we both can stand together.
Well then, would you care to dance? La da 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 da. Hey, what bedtime story did the dyslexic basketball player love to tell his kids?
Winnie the Hoop!
Oh, why do PDs love to visit Egypt?
Because they love to be in denial.
Well, you didn't get that one either, did you? Well, I don't give a damn. Madam, shall we dance? La da 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 da.